Hey, Kyle, what you been up to?
Just sitting down. Actually, not even sitting down. I've been working on a lot of things lately that I kind of said or made excuses for, whether it be work, whether it be school, and those are legitimate excuses for me.
Right, right.
Working three jobs in school, 2 days a week, and then also going to church and being involved there.
It's kind
But
of a
I
lot.
really,
We
yeah,
kind of got some
yeah,
free time at the moment now, don't we? We are under what was it? It's not quarantine. It's shelter in
shelter in
place order.
place.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
statewide because of the
yeah.
coronavirus. Yay! Another episode about the coronavirus. You're welcome, viewers or listeners or whatever you are. So yeah, tell me about those excuses and how genuine they are right now this week.
So like a lot of those excuses are like, oh, I have work, I have school. Again,
Hmm.
those are like,
Hmm.
I don't even say those are excuses. Those are legitimate
It's stuff that gets in the way.
reasons. Yeah, I mean, it's stuff that gets in the way. It's stuff you got to do. It's stuff on the daily that you're responsible for, and so those are reasons. But I found myself like I was doing something today, walking throughout my house, and I just kind of realized, I was driving my parents, and I
Mm.
realized that if something's not happening in my life right now, it's literally all on me. Like there's no excuse. I have all the time in the world.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, is it
I mean, provided
stressful?
you have the means for it. If
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want
yeah.
to like become a master ice sculptor in, Contra Costa County, California,
Yeah.
it's not really an achievable goal right now. But I mean, we have a lot of free time. We're under quarantine, not sorry, shelter in place for like 3 weeks total. We're like
Yeah, I
halfway
think it's
through
like
week one. It supposedly ends. Is it March 30th or April 7th?
April 7th, but I saw an
It is April
email
7th.
from one of our jobs that we it might, like, it's April, I don't know, March 30th or something.
I
But
think that's when we're closed and it loosens up possibly then, but that's only tentative. We don't know where we're going to be
yeah,
at that
that's
point.
true. Probably not at work.
Um,
Um,
God.
but it was that hard realization. I was just like, we're talking about the
Mm,
podcast and we've gotten to record
yeah.
some things for that and move forward and have some meetings. But I realized like it's so easy to make excuses. And I look around and I look at all these, all the people I know on Facebook or Instagram, or just like personally we know, and they have huge aspirations. And a lot of it's just that they haven't dedicated time to actually like putting into what they want to achieve.
Mm.
But now it's like there's no excuse for not having time. Like you literally
No,
wake up
it's kind
and
of like one of the silver linings about this thing. If you've got something you want to do, you got nothing but time. Yeah, it's kind of
yeah,
depressing being stuck at home all day, every
right.
day for three
Well,
weeks,
and you
but you
can
can
go
make something
out,
of that.
but yeah, you can totally make something out
You
of
can
it.
go out. You
And
can go out for a hike or a walk around town, just as long as you keep your social
yeah,
distance,
you're
so to
stick
speak.
farming people.
Yep.
Um,
I mean, don't
but
touch them though.
yeah,
Don't
yeah,
touch
don't
them.
touch them.
Don't
Don't
touch
touch them.
them. Yeah.
But it's one of those things I realized that like the only person holding me back from pushing forward on the podcast, pushing forward on the movie production stuff, and
Mm.
things like that is me, 100% me.
Yeah.
And and that's just it, man. There's no more room for excuses.
No.
Now,
No.
while there are certain reasons and factors in play that like we can't, we're not going to be able to sit down with all of our equipment with some of the guests that we wanted to have on because
No,
we
it
have
is
to
a
do
bit
this work.
difficult to do that.
Yeah, you're in Walnut
So
Creek.
we
I'm in
got
Martinez right now, and we're still having able
and
to
our
record
guests are
this.
who
And
knows where,
right, yeah,
but
and
it's a bit spaced out, kind of not really a thing we can do at the moment. But we're still like
yeah,
recording podcast stuff. I mean, we've got
oh yeah,
content coming out.
yeah,
Um, so
and
we're
it's
making progress there. It's plenty of time for the movie.
uh
By the way, we are making a movie. Um, for your information, there'll be more information on that elsewhere on our pages and whatnot. But anyway, moving back to the point, it's like we got a lot of time. We've been meeting. We want to have these
mm-hmm,
phone conferences with folks in our cast
mm-hmm,
just to chat with them and see how they're doing. There's just
mm-hmm.
a lot of time to get that stuff done that we didn't have before.
Yeah. And so,
Um,
it's been nice to also
yeah.
catch up on sleep. Like that's one of the
Yes.
big ones is like I'd be
Okay.
working until
I've
like
taken to that
one
one
in
a
the
bit too
morning.
much, maybe.
Oh yeah, no, I've overslept in some regards, but like I remember working till 1 a.m.
Mm,
work until 1 a.m., then getting home at like 2, 1:30 or
yeah.
2, and then waking up at 7 or 8 to go to my next thing the next day. And it's just,
It's just
it's
not
it's
enough
doable for
time.
a short time, but you're right, it's not enough time to stay recharged. And then having one day off, I've
Mm,
managed to keep my Mondays completely free from any um regular responsibilities in terms of school, work,
hmm.
church, like those things. But that's also then the only day that we get to work on, or I get to really sit down and pound out some things for the podcast and the
Yeah.
production and the movie and all these
Whereas
things.
I've only got the one job, so I do have a bit more free time on that.
Yeah, but you're also taking a more, especially as we're coming into hopefully our shooting month, like, and we're
Yeah,
trying to juggle everything that's going on. You're also dealing with a lot of things on the
just
end of the
blocking
actors.
is the
Yeah,
monumental one right now,
yeah.
and we do have some character meetings to go over, so there's a lot of that stuff. But how does this free time recontextualize? When we get out of the quarantine, does that
Mhm.
affect your
Yeah, I think it does
your
because
priorities?
yeah, well, I think it does and it doesn't. And by that I
Okay.
mean that I've realized like what you choose to do when you have all the free time in the world really does determine like what you value. By
Yeah.
that being said, I think a lot of people, and this goes back to excuses, but it would be really easy for you or for me just to sleep, just to kind of not do anything. I have, a couple decks of Yu-Gi-Oh cards I like to go through, I like to sift out and
Nerd.
make. But like, if all I did was sleep, wake up, eat, hop on my computer, watch YouTube videos, and then like deal with the Yu-Gi-Oh cards for 21 days straight,
Oh
and it's
God, no,
and
that's
it's
just
like what do I expect to come out of my life when all of a sudden I'm busier? Like I have the free
hmm,
time. For me, it's like one of my highest value, and this is something that I got challenged with today. Is I had this revelation. My highest value is to grow closer to God. So if I'm not actively pursuing
okay.
that when I have all the time in the world, then how can I expect to fairly do that? Like when I have little time, there's absolutely no way. And it's like the parameters for doing that or for working on whatever project, working around the house, whatever, which I also get to do now, um, as we sit down and paint and improve some things around here. But it's like if I can't, if I have unlimited time and I can't make time for what I deem important or what I say is important, is that thing really important to me? And do I deserve to grow in it? The answer is no.
Right.
Um,
And conversely, mine's kind of on a bit of a ticking clock there on account of uh, mortality. For me, when I
yeah,
die, that's it. Don't really have any growth past that. So I definitely want to make something of my life while I have it. So I'm 24. I'm in pretty solid shape. I have plenty of energy. I can do so much right now, and now I've got this free time. Um, if I'm not making anything of that, then I'm just gonna sort of aimlessly peter along through life, and just that's
yeah.
horrendously depressing, and that's a
Well, and
waste. So I
it,
get to
it
do all this cool stuff
yeah.
right now that I just didn't have time for before. So it's
uh,
honestly like it's a gift,
Yeah, and what you want to
provided I
like,
don't get
this is
the
the
virus.
realizing that like, and this is something that was said to me years and years ago, and it stuck with me. If you want to know what's important to a man, you look at two things. You look at his bank account and his bank
Yep.
statement, and you look at his calendar, where he spends his time and where he spends his money. That is what is most important to that person. Now,
Yeah.
granted, if you're spending your time and money at somewhere and you're doing it for reasons that ultimately play to the goal, that's one thing. But like if you're just like, oh, I go out to the bar every single day. And that's what's important to me. And I want to go drink. And it's like you're
I
spending
think if you
tons and
go
tons
to
of
the
money.
bar every single day, that's not so much your values as it is a disease that you have.
Well, it's one that you've put on yourself, really. Like you've
Yeah.
chosen to in
I mean, some folks are more predisposed than others, but I mean, there's a
well, and
choice
that's
to
another
do that.
choice
Like,
though. Too. You're right, it's a choice because I
uh,
have a good friend of mine. His name's Chris, but his father um was an alcoholic for years and years and years, and so he
mhm.
went through this incredible transformation. This guy Chris was also the one who really propelled me and helped lead me in my early years of being a Christian. But
I
like, so
believe you
Chris
mentioned him
knows.
in our introductory video.
I probably did at some point.
Is he the rocket scientist?
No, that's Jeremy.
Okay,
Yeah, I
I'll
don't
keep
think
him.
I've ever
Wait,
told you
what?
really about
Okay,
Chris. Yeah, there's a lot of
okay.
people. But
Yeah, yeah,
like with
yeah. There you
Chris,
go.
he knows that his father struggled with this addiction to alcoholism, and so when his father decided like, no, enough is enough. Like I'm not about
Mm,
this life anymore. Then Chris grew up knowing that he was predisposed to that, so he has
yeah,
also actively lived his life where he doesn't partake in those things, and he
yeah.
doesn't bash
But I
other
mean,
people
even then, I mean,
choose
I've got
to
that
because
genetic
like
predisposition.
yeah.
My sister does too. My sister does not drink. She knows that she might not have a handle on it, and I respect that. I
Yeah.
do. I like beer quite a lot. I don't go overboard. It's just, I mean, there is choice involved, but
Well, it's not like anybody holds a beer to you and forces you to drink it and says if you don't
no,
drink this,
it's
like
just,
everyone you love and you're gonna die and all these things. Like that's not how it
yeah,
works. You
no, it's
have a
not.
choice. And
But
just like in this time, like we have all this time,
getting
we
back
choose.
to how people spend their money, yes, so there are things that, you must do, like pay rent or mortgage or whatever the hell it is you do. Um, and you've got the essentials, and you get that
Mhm,
that's where your money's going to go, and you've got things that
mhm.
are just sort of
Yeah,
like
and
an
you need to
addiction.
be
That's You're going to get
frugal,
stuck in there.
especially
That's
if you're out of work
rough,
right now.
but
Like you need to be responsible, you need to be wise,
most
but like
definitely.
also there are a lot of systems in place. There are unemployment you can file for.
Yep.
I believe the
And we recommend that
government
if you are
is.
currently out of work, you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe that the current administration and the government are sending out those checks for people too, who should get here in April. So it's a lot
I
of
believe
little
so. Yeah.
things that'll help you like keep on, but you have the time. Um, and
Hmm.
yes, there are a lot of things that come up. There surprises happen, like absolutely. People get sick, people get injured, car stop. There are those things that require immediate action.
Right.
But
Right.
what do you plan for, and what do you make happen within those plans? That is ultimately going to decide what you do. And I think a great way was put that I heard it put when I went to the Global Leadership Summit in 2000. I want to say it was 2017. It was
Okay.
probably a different year than that, but
Whenever it was.
was your habits, like your habits and what you do continually is who you are. Like that is
Hmm.
what you will become. That is ultimately your habits determine
Yeah.
your destiny, your direction, and your destiny. And absolutely believe that because what you do continuously every day and what you choose to put into is going to determine and build to who you are. We know a
And
lot of
for
people. What's up?
and for those of us who are lucky enough to not have this coronavirus, this is an opportunity to make
Hmm.
those choices and then create those
Yeah,
habits going forward, because why not?
yeah,
What's stopping you right now, other than not being able to gather in groups of 10 or more?
right, yeah.
Um,
And it's like
you
you can
can
you
set
can
those
totally still
personal
gather.
things ahead. Yeah.
Like we're doing it right
To an
now, and
extent.
I've done it with
Yeah,
people
yeah, there
from
we go.
all over the
We're
Bay
in
Area
different
with
zip
Zoom
codes.
and other things. It's like you can totally communicate. And yes, there's a certain like we can't have our read through for our movie, but we can
No.
still have the ability and we have the resources available that if we want to talk to them live,
Yeah.
we can absolutely do that.
There are still things to do. And
Yeah.
even if you can't, for whatever reason, reach out to other folks and or don't have any group like that, just
Hmm.
you can still work on the personal stuff. You can make sure that
Hmm.
your own personal goals are being acted on. If you
Yeah.
had a book that you've been meaning to read for years, do it.
Hmm. And it's
Um,
one of those things too of like we're not even talking about just like big like life altering goals. Yes, that's something that we get to have access to and the ability to pull into
mm,
pour into, but we also it's also just like you said you've been I just cleaned out my car today. Like I've been wanting to
nice,
clean up my car for like 2 months and I did it. Like that was it.
nice.
Like people, my parents are doing a bunch of yard work right now. Like they have a garage full of crap that needs to be like shifted through and actually cleaned out, and we do it like every 5 years, and it's time to do a deeper clean. So you can set yourself up to have the freedom in the future to pursue what you really feel like your calling and what you're made to do is. And when you can actively achieve that and take steps towards that, I think one of the most rewarding things when I was a youth pastor and when I've been a leader in many different contexts, it wasn't even the final product, but it was knowing that I was taking strides and we were taking strides to move forward on the project. And so far, while we're in the midst of doing this movie, one of the most exciting things is that we're still working on it, but
Yeah.
we're able to check things off every day. And as we do that and as we persevere, it also comes to a point that yes, we know eventually we're going to have the finished product, but we also know that finished product is going to be a platform, a propelling platform to put us into the future and to put us in a position that
Mm.
will allow us to build on that foundation and use it as a pillar to really build not just the rest of our lives on, but the rest of our
Well, it's
relationship
this
on
is what
other
I
things.
wanted. I want to make movies, and that's a dream of mine, and that's what I'm doing.
Hmm.
I'm making that happen.
Yeah,
I didn't exactly need this time off for that, but Lord knows it's given me enough breath to go ahead and actually get some of the
yeah,
nitty gritty details that I've been putting off. Also, reevaluate why I'm putting those things off, because I shouldn't
yeah.
be. And it's getting done. It's getting done. And then for those folks who have been working their fingers to the bone and finally have some free time, my God, take a vacation.
Oh,
Just take that little
absolutely.
vacation. Take that time to yourself, and don't make yourself do any of this stuff.
Rest
And
is
you
the
deserve the
most.
break.
Yeah, but and we've been busy too, and rest is definitely a part. learning how to
Yes.
actively rest is probably one of the most important things I've ever
That's
had to
such a
learn.
stressful phrase, active rest. I'm
Yeah.
trying.
Yeah, it's
But
but
yeah,
it's one of those things
still.
you set time aside. If you plan out ahead and you
Hmm.
stick to it and you make room for things, you will be able to rest. You will have the
Yeah.
time to rest. And what you choose to do in that time, like right now, um, easily, we could stay up all night. We could lay in bed and be awake all night and all day and not get any rest.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean,
it's
I've had those nights of just terrible sleep where I wake up
yeah,
more tired than when I went to bed, and that's just rough.
but rest is also so much more than just sleep. It's like how do you
Yeah.
refresh your soul? How do you refresh like what you're about?
Your mind, it's a
Replay,
restless
going
mind
on
is like
hikes.
the number one cause of insomnia. That's not an
Yeah,
actual statistic. It just sounds likely, and that's
it just sounds like it
my
should be true.
own issue. It does. It does. But
um,
okay, let's start wrapping up. I would say that my first step towards any goal is figuring out what the rest of the steps are. So I would say for folks who just got all that nonsense going on in their head, like what am I going to do? Use this time to just figure out what you want to do. Make a 5-year plan.
mm,
You can, I mean, you don't have to like get it done. Just get it started, and it just
yeah,
starts to fall into itself. And you've got that going.
yeah.
Just get started. Think about what you want to do and how you can do it.
And with
Just do a
that,
little
like,
research. You got the time.
yeah, you have all the time. Like, definitely make a plan. Sometimes I think what trips a lot of people up is looking at the severity of like just the size of every little step. And sometimes it's just
Yeah,
like, sometimes you just gotta suck it up and just press through it. In fact, most of the time, that's what you gotta do.
yeah. You're
You
always gonna
gotta
feel it's
just
like
be like, you know what?
it's like hitting the wall in a marathon. It's gonna
Yeah,
happen. Just go
you're
past
gonna
it.
just have to push by it. Like, it's not gonna be easy. If you want to move
No.
forward, if you want to press ahead, if you want to go, like, it's not easy. You're gonna hit the wall. You gotta push past it sometimes. All the
Other
time. You
than
gotta push
by
past it.
actual definition, um, there's a reason being an exception is rare because it is hard to become exceptional.
Hmm.
But everybody's got the potential to do that in some capacity. It's
Yeah.
just making that choice when it really sucks to have to make the choice.
Yeah. Yeah. And live live exceptionally. I can't believe I
There you
dropped that
go.
phrase.
Yeah,
And you're right. If you wanna be exceptional, you have to live exceptionally.
there you go. I think that about sums it up.
Yeah.
So yeah, take that time and do what you got to do. Get her done.
Absolutely. Well,
All
Dylan,
right.
thanks for calling me up. Thanks for setting up all this and just giving us some time to just talk about um well, time and what's
Yeah,
important.
yeah. Free time. Plenty of free time. And
For
if
those of
you
you,
are one of the unfortunates who is ill, please get
yeah,
better. Please
yeah,
do. World needs you.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was super heartfelt, wasn't it? Man, I mean, yes, please don't die.
No, yeah, definitely get better. Like take your
Yeah.
vitamins,
And
rest,
you definitely
get
rest.
sleep.
Don't use this for like the 5-year plan. Use this for just getting or do. I don't know how sick you are. Just get
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Step one
Do
of
what
your
you got to
five
do.
year plan is get better. All right.
Yes,
I'll give you
yes.
that one right
It's
there.
very important. All right.
Absolutely.
Well, that about wraps it up. Anything else you want
Hmm.
to leave us with, Kyle?
No,
Well, for
I
listen.
think
All
that
right.
kind of encompasses everything. And thank you guys so much for listening to us just rant. And we look forward to just delivering some more content to you guys soon. Thanks.
All right. See you all next time. Bye now.